After so many recent videos and comments and insights, I thought I'd make a video that in many ways doesn't have a subject to it. It doesn't have anything to offer in the sense of, dangling any sort of carrot. It's a genuine speaking to the journey that so many are going on now of this, what some might call awakening or self-realization, or just an opening and an opening to something deeper, and a resolving of past issues, and a unveiling of the beliefs, attachments, investments, complications, the entanglements with others, with our own emotionality, with the past. All of this that more and more and more people are experiencing. And to speak just a little bit to how that is and what the implications are of that, and what really happens when things start to untangle. Because it's no hobby, it's not a cakewalk in the park, whatever that means. I think that's a mixing of metaphors, isn't it? It's not just a stroll in the park. It gets serious, it gets deep, it gets challenging, because most of us have lived lives of, in many ways, ignorance, certainly ignorance of our own true nature, or ignorance of the truth of us. We've kind of complied, really, to the best of our ability with what we perceive to be the rules of the game. And the rules of the game have been conditioned into all of us, one way or another, and we're good players or not so good players, wounded players, broken players, successful players, or none of it matters, because we've all bought into the game of life, the game of, believing certain things blindly often, and blindly believing in certain things, but also burying certain things. This dual thing of burying all of the past, of the hurts and the wounds and the grievances, because we were never offered any sort of opportunity or structure or insight or awareness or training or intelligence or wisdom to say, these are an aspect of the human condition that affect everybody: wounds, traumas, grievances, angers, all of these kind of things, and we need to deal with that, because the education is not intended that way. It's not conceived of in that way. It's not a wisdom culture, as I said in a lot of videos ago. It's not a wisdom culture, it's a training culture. Even if that anymore, nobody really knows anymore what the hell is going on. But it's not wisdom that is valued, and it's not self-awareness that is valued. It's certainly not meditation or even a deeper awareness or love or kindness or compassion that are valued. Oh, that they were. Oh, that we were taught such things in school, in college. in kindergarten, in primaries and schools and stuff. Can you imagine what it would be? That if we valued those qualities of compassion and grace and love and awareness, self-knowledge, wisdom, maturation. But no, we're all in the same boat, in the same swamp as anybody else, burying stuff and being told that the life is in the shiny stuff, life is in the success, life is in the, the nest, the comfortable nest, life is in the fame, life is in the money, life is in the money, because the money gets you the things and you get the things, and that comforts you against the sense of meaninglessness of life that you carry, because everything that hurt has been buried away in the shadows. So we've been trained to live in a shadow culture. And the shadow culture is intensifying. It would do. It's the karma culture. Eventually karma comes. Eventually karma in many ways comes for everybody. Maybe at some point. Certainly seems to be coming now. And we live in this toxic world, and because of some momentum or things unseen, or because of the internet, or because of the extreme discontent of human beings, many are looking that area, or many are looking in that area to solve the discontent of the human spirit, and many don't end up on the spiritual path that takes one within. But my God, many do now. And so people start looking through the discontentedness. And what is this? What is the meaning of this? What's going on with me? Who am I? What do I want? Why do I feel so alienated? Why do I feel so hurt, so broken, so confused, so angry? It can't just be, the fault of the government. It can't just be this incredible insanity that rules our lives now on the external plane. And so those very questions take us inside. But when we go inside and we go inside and we go inside, and some people go inside to a certain level, but many go further in and further in, little expecting that the entirety of one's life is going to start unraveling. And that's what happens, because the momentum starts. When you start to see things and start to feel things and start to wake up to things. Start to wake up where it's all been buried and where it's all been hidden, and the lies and the collusion and the games and the strategies that have been played in your life. In the investment in the game, in the show. And you go deeper, and these things start to have a deeper impact, because you start to look at your relationships with others, your relationships with the family, relationships with what you want and who you are, and the work and the meaning, and then the relationship that one has with oneself, with one's habits, with one's addictions, with one's desire, with one's body itself, with who we are, asking deeper and deeper questions of who we are. And those questions open doors, and they bring up feelings. They bring up deep, old, wounded, almost forgotten feelings, but they're not forgotten. So they start coming up as well, because everything wants to get to the light. Everything wants to come. And when you give a sign to your deeper self, and you know it's time, or I'm ready, then everything starts coming. And that's the point of this video. To just speak to that. To say, yes, it does. It does. It all starts coming up. And that can lead to a great alienation. It can lead to, at least initially, a great seeming breakdown. The breakdown comes before the breakthrough. It could be a rapid, it could be a, sudden, it could be gradual. It could be gradual and sudden. And it could be painful. It could not be painful. It could have moments of pain and moments of bliss. Both of these are welcome. They have to be included. There's no rules. You have to throw away the rule book of how it is for you and learn to feel again, and learn to become self-aware. Maybe again, maybe not, maybe for the first time. This is what one would call waking up. To start waking up to the sheer sensory experience of yourself, to wake up to see reality with some new eyes. So you go deeper, and that causes this waking up. There's epiphany, there's realization. Not just terrible realization, but a realization that we're divine beings. That can't be taught. Religion completely destroyed that idea. This is a deeper authority that needs no religion. This is a deeper sense of one's own innate divine incarnation that needs no qualification, nor any religion to say it's like this, or this, or this. It's self-defined. We discover it. It's a discovery, a revelation. The revelation that I'm a divine being. And I'm not as lost as I thought I was. And I'm not as shamed or unworthy as I thought I was. That was a shadow. And all of these things start to come into being. But of course, at the same time as the realization of one's deepest as love, as the divine, there's also the shadow side that says, well, me too. I want to come home. I want to come home to the unity, the wholeness, the totality. And so then you have to open wider in order to allow all of this to come home, all of the pain, the judgment, the sorrow, the grievance, the wound, the hurt, everything, that was done, which is not easy, of course. It's not easy. It's not easy to let go of the wounds of the past, but there's a calling to do exactly that, because by continually ending the war with what's arising from the past, and therefore with the past itself, it liberates you. It liberates us to be here and to be this divine being. It doesn't fix it, it doesn't deny it, but it does allow it. We allow the brokenness, and that comes in as well. And this whole journey seems difficult, but is incumbent upon us to do it, to keep going, to just forge ourselves, because something happens along the way. That's the nature of it. We become deeper, more sensitive, more open, more aware, more compassionate, more loving human beings. That is our journey. And to stop living from our denial, or stop living from our inner division. And as we fall into a less inner divided state, so we take that that holism, to that union into the world, and share it somehow just as an energetic truth of ourselves with other people. And only in that way does any sort of natural change happen. It doesn't happen otherwise. It doesn't happen through the internet. The internet, you know, the information, the YouTube videos, all of this stuff is only a door. It's only an indicator. It's only a pointer to us, saying, you have to do it. You have to do it. It's people that change things. It's the frequency of love that offers love to the world. And so that's what I wanted to say, to speak to the capacity that we have to stay and trust and open and have courage. Bless you.